You know how we've been talking about the Durham report, which is a big dud, big super dud. And everybody wants to make something out of it, but it's just not happening. The entire thing boils down to that in the opinion of Durham, who was appointed by Trumpies, he's thought it should be a preliminary investigation, not a formal investigation. And that he believes that in the preliminary investigation, they would have not found their way to a formal investigation, even though they ended up getting a bunch of guilty pleas from people that, because of the formal investigation, admitted that they were guilty of a bunch of shit. So of course it would have gone from a PI to an FI in a matter of weeks. But it's just his way of doing kind of like the 4-page summary of the Mueller report, like Barr did, and saying that shouldn't have been that way. That's it. And it didn't amount to a hill of beans. No recommendation of prosecution, not even insofar as I've seen in it so far, and I've been reading it. And it's, it's a bit of an annoying slog because it's very repetitive. There's no, I checked the end what his recommendations are, and there are none that like there should be a change in the genuine legality or the structure of the FBI to curtail this shit in the future. There are no remedies, really. Just a lot of castigation and kind of whining. A lot of narrative, not a lot of facts, and even the facts didn't bear out in court. Like, he isn't even reflective on the cases he lost, which I think, if in your final report, you got to go, well, we thought it was this, but we lost in court. They didn't even have the chutzpah, the tip of the spear to do that. And it's upset some people, as you might well imagine. So we don't have to do this whole thing either. I'm just glad he's upset. This is Glenn. Hillary Clinton should face prison after the Durham report, but she's not going to because she didn't commit a crime, nor does it assert that she did. Okay, here we go.
So I'm looking at
your penis using a hand mirror. No, your old copies of the show, reviewing them to for quality and going, how could I have been so fucking wrong so fucking often? That's not it. Shit, I thought I had it this time. Just
piece of malware called Q-Snatch.
All right.
what the Durham report actually said.
Okay, that's new.
The Durham report said a few things.
Yes, but let's be clear. These few things that you're talking about, you got from pieces taken from articles that other people who went through it said. Yeah.
Investigation revealed that senior FBI...
Hold on, what?
The Durham report said a few things. Our investigation revealed that senior FBI personnel displayed a serious lack of analytical rigor toward the information that they received.
Yeah, notice how he is reading the exact same chips that were taken out that we reviewed when other people were looking at it. Like Hannity.
Especially from politically affiliated persons and entities. In
EBEs, extraterrestrial biological entities?
particular, there was a significant reliance on investigative leads provided or funded directly or indirectly by Trump's political opponents. The department did not adequately examine or question these materials.
Oh, you think there was more to them?
And the motives of those providing them.
Yeah, the motives of people providing them doesn't really matter if you find some there, elsewhere. And they found people pleading guilty so quickly, and Papadopoulos talking to that diplomat fucked the whole thing.
I want to take you back to Ricky Vaughn. Stu.
Isn't he, isn't that the Talladega Nights character? Sorry. That's Ricky Bobby.
Ricky Vaughn.
Well, he was a pitcher in the movie Major League, but also he was a pseudonym of a guy named Mackey. What was his first name? I can't remember.
Bob, maybe. He made dresses for Carol Burnett.
Douglas Mackey.
Okay.
And he was an online.
This is riveting.
Troll, they would call him, and he was posting things in a pro-Trump way online back in the 2016 election. Some of those things were like, hey, remember, save time, don't wait in line, you can vote from home. And of course, you could not vote from home. It was, it was a criminal thing to suggest something like that. That didn't happen until the 2020 election when you were allowed to do that. A totally different election, though.
Right.
Now you can, everyone just mail vote from, it's mail voting for all. But back in the day.
Well, you actually had to fill out a form, or your legislature picked up that slack for you. Also, that guy was trying to get people confused and not vote, or get people to vote twice.
This was criminal to suggest, Glenn. And it was a joke, right? It was a joke about, Democrats vote on Wednesday, Republicans vote on Tuesday. It's a joke that's gone back
forever.
So he was
arrested
for this because it was disinformation. He was supposedly, the write-up from the government was like, he's, messing with the most central part of our democracy, the right to vote. It's so heavy-handed and ridiculous. He was brought in. He argued, look, it's free speech. It's a joke, like all the things you'd think he would argue. He lost and is now
because he wasn't joking at the time. It was a lame attempt.
Facing 10 years in prison, and it was due to be...
Because here's the thing. If you're doing free speech as yourself, you could say that and people would know with the things you're saying for real and the jokes you're making, the difference between those two things, because they could compare the two. If you're using a fake name online and pretending to be someone on one particular side of the aisle and then use that as a manipulation point after gathering followers based on fraudulent reasons or expectations from the people who follow you, that's an attempt to manipulate the electorate.
Due to be sentenced in August for that quote unquote crime.
Okay. So a guy who
directly told people to vote on the wrong day, even after he had been warned, and attempted to trick people into voting the wrong way, rat fucking, they used to call it,
put a meme up.
No, not a meme. A sustained effort
that said you can vote from home. Just, mail it in on Wednesday. That guy.
That's also not what he said. Stupid. That's not even what Stu just said.
Vote by text, I think, was the specific
vote by
thing
text.
he was saying.
Yeah. So vote by text. He goes to prison for possibly 10 years.
Yeah, kind of like that one lady who voted when she wasn't done with her sentence, even though she'd been paroled, but she was still under probation, or she couldn't get her full rights back for another 2 years, but she voted in there. She got 5 years. I believe that was her. I think it was a probationary violation. I don't see you weeping over what she's doing. She got half that amount of time, and that was just her vote. She was just accused of fucking with her vote.
Now, I would think.
By the way, you're right, Glenn. You know what, Stu? Thanks for bringing that up, because I think he's getting off easy. If she got 5 years for her, for voting when she wasn't supposed to, singularly as one person, I think he's got to. You got to look at the number of people on Twitter who are Americans who are registered to vote, and you divide that out by, I don't know, what it would take 20% who might be open to that statement or believe that, and then cut that in half just for good measure, and then maybe cut it half again. So let's say we boil down to he was only really fucking with 300,000 people's votes, and you just give him 5 years for each.
That if anyone had seen that meme and you believed it, I would say there is a serious lack of analytical rigor.
Or his target were people with a serious lack of analytical rigor. You don't get to get away with conning people just because you perceive anybody who gets conned is soft in the fucking head.
Toward the information that you
Otherwise, we have to talk about your viewers.
Have received, especially from politically affiliated persons or entities, right? You didn't adequately examine or question the materials and the motives of those providing them. Now, that was part of the.
No. Also, again, this is like attempted murder. Attempted murder is, I believe, as much of a crime as murder. You don't get to get less time just because you're a fuck up. Just because you had your shot and you missed doesn't mean you were less vile in your attempt to kill someone. Attempted murder and murder, same fucking sentence. Period. Same thing here. Just because this guy thought, hey, there's at least a portion of the people out there that are a little bit dough-headed. If I can lead them astray or do an appeal to laziness and they turn out to be wrong, by the time they realize it was wrong, it's over.
Durham report. Those words. And it fits both. Okay? And what they said was, well, we just have to police ourselves a little better. We just have to follow the rules just a little better because we should have questioned this, right? We should have questioned. We knew it was coming from Hillary Clinton. We should have questioned this. But
no, that's what he says. He says they should have questioned.
We fixed it. Nobody goes to jail.
Right, because the intention was good, and they did end up finding out through the investigation that, 9 people in Trump's circle were committing felonies and acting as foreign agents?
Because they just, the people that got that information, they just made a mistake. They ran with it, and they shouldn't have.
No, they didn't. They looked into that information. And to fill out this analogy, it was as if, imagine, if you will, that this Mackie fucker tweets this stuff out. You can vote by text on Wednesday if you've missed it. And it turns out, after some investigation, that you actually can. And not only that, but your vote is guaranteed to count and you get a response. Or your vote counts 8 times if you vote by text on further examination. Because that's exactly what happened. They gave him this information. In Durham's opinion, they shouldn't have looked any further, but they did. And what they found was more criminality. If this is a fitting analogy, then this dude's tweets should have led people to actually find a better way to vote. You could almost break it down that this guy's attempt to stop people from voting inspired the ability for more people to vote in 2020. For real.
Well, what about the people that just ran with the meme? Do we know if anybody did?
Doesn't matter. It's your attempt. You know for a fact, by the way, that the FBI didn't rely solely on the Steele dossier, which is what a bunch of right-wingers are asserting right now. In that little clip, it's like they relied too much, or in part, or nearly, because of stuff that incorporates some element of things that were paid for directly or indirectly by Trump's political opponents, which turned out to be anybody who actually saw the evidence against him and is an ever-growing fucking field of human beings.
Was there any real harm done by that in the first?
Doesn't matter. There was an attempt at harm. That's why he's getting 10 years and not, he didn't run down there and and crash a car into a polling center and disenfranchise, 1,000 people.
Place. And wouldn't it be their responsibility to go, that seems a little too good to be true. I've never heard that.
Well, that's kind of what the FBI did. They got the Steele dossier and went, that looks a little bit much. All right, well, we'll ask around. You know what? I'm not going to prosecute Trump. This is a great analogy of how stupid Glenn is, actually. Nobody at the FBI took the Steele dossier and went, hey, we could just this is Exhibit A, Your Honor. Steele dossier, bam. Lock him up. Lock him up. Lock him. They didn't do that. They went, well, I can believe this considering what he said in the Access Hollywood tape. He sounds like a PP tape kind of a guy. And we obviously know that he's a long-running tax criminal and obviously his wealth is bullshit. And that's a massive comb over. So there's a lot in this that, seems valid. Let's tell you what, guys. let's just run down each point, because this is a serious, this guy's running for president, and multiple people have brought this to us, and that, yes, they might have a bone to pick, but if any of this turns out to be true, we look the other way while a serial sexual assaulter and a financial criminal gets into the White House. I think we should probably look at it and just check. Isn't it amazing that Glenn is making my case accidentally? Because he's a dum-dum. That's why he's big dum-dum.
Because the FBI just got off from doing exactly the same thing.
No. Actually, they didn't make up the Steele dossier and then try to tell someone. They were on the receiving end. They would be the person who read the meme in your analogy. Fuck, this guy's dumb.
The FBI just got off.
No, they didn't. They did. They followed through on an investigation, looked deeper into it, and found that 8 of Trump's affiliates were engaged in high levels of criminality. One of whom, by the way, was his campaign manager working for free and was being told what to do by the Russians during the fucking campaign. And he was also a guy, according to his daughter's texts, that would hire guys off Craigslist to fuck his disabled wife against her will while he watched and jacked off in a corner. That was Trump's campaign manager. That's who you're defending. That's who you think nobody should have even looked twice at this fucking guy. The guy who worked for free for the campaign because somebody else was paying him. Somebody fucking, oh shit. Somebody explained to me at the Blaze, either who at the Blaze is into that kind of shit or signs off on it. And by the way, it was multiple guys at once. And his wife was not into it. As a matter of fact, she had mild brain damage from her from the traffic accident she had, and he was basically torturing her with it. His own daughters don't talk to him anymore. They think he's a monster. And not just because of that, also because he's responsible for giving Yanukovych the idea to put snipers in fucking towers on Euromaidan to fire into the crowd with the agent provocateurs he himself arranged so that they could just shoot the protesters who wanted to pick their actual leaders in Ukraine. You fucking tool. So no, your analogy does not work.
This guy now, he was, what was it, sacrificing or infringing on our most sacred right to vote.
Right, because he was trying to manipulate people into missing their opportunity to vote on purpose in a sustained effort for a long time, with wanton disregard for it, whether it was successful or not, and a desire to make sure that it was. But then explain to me, how long has Paul Manafort been staying in your guest house?
How? He was suppressing the vote with misinformation. Okay.
Right. But direct misinformation about the mechanics of the election, not about the opinions about politicians or the belief in their guilt or their innocence.
Okay, so let me see. So
you're never going to figure this out, Glenn. This is he's putting on his thinking cap face and he's putting his hand up. This is the gesture that goes, let me see if I understand what you're trying to pull here, which is, yeah.
If we just look at the Durham report, they didn't.
Yeah, read the Mueller report first, then read the Durham report, then go, oh shit, I see. Durham's just using a narrative to sort of bat down that they shouldn't have been able to look in the first place. So I'm trying to use fruit of the poison tree to hide all of Trump's crimes, all of Manafort's crimes, Mike Flynn, Papadopoulos, Carter Page, all these motherfuckers.
Didn't suppress information. They manufactured information.
No, they did not. None of these people pled guilty because of manufactured information. Like what? Like what? What did they manufacture?
They put false information out that they, according to the report, knew was false.
No, they didn't. That's not, the FBI was not in the PR game at that point. The investigation itself, even up to that, beyond the point he's even talking about with Crossfire Hurricane and all that kind of stuff, was predicated on like looking into crimes. They didn't just get this shit and start doing round the clock fucking COVID press conferences about it.
They knew it was coming from Hillary Clinton's campaign.
Yes, but it was also coming from other places. That's why they ultimately kept looking.
None of them had any serious thought that these charges were true.
That's a lie. That's just a lie. That's just Glenn making something up. The idea that no one at the FBI seriously thought any of this stuff could be true or were true is a lie. That is Glenn Beck lying. And this is just like a vacuous dipshit lie. This isn't even like him covering something specific. This is one of those broad, like, nobody has ever said anything like that. When people say that, yeah, it's just a lazy lie.
But they decided to investigate anyway, and then they leaked that information, which, by the way...
no, they didn't. The BuzzFeed leak of when BuzzFeed got the dossier, they didn't get it from the fucking FBI.
Try to find out anything about the January 6 people. Try to find anything out. I'm sorry, the Justice Department does not comment on ongoing investigations.
Right. Hold on one second. Oh, boy. I'm gonna this. Oh, I've got to get mad. It's all right. Hold on. Let's see. Does it say serious challenge on individual cover here? See, this is an article on how when BuzzFeed won its defamation case on the publishing of the dossier. Let's see. The case was one of the most serious court challenges following BuzzFeed's publication of the Russian dossier. Several others have filed lawsuits following its publication, but the BuzzFeed case, brought by a Russian tech entrepreneur living in Cyprus, had progressed further toward a trial. Isn't that weird that the Trump dossier, the person trying to stop its publication was a tech entrepreneur, a Russian living in Cyprus, which is where the Bank of Cyprus is, which is where Wilbur Ross worked. Fucking hell. Let's see. BuzzFeed editor-in-chief, when we published the Steele dossier in 2017, we were met with outrage from many corners. A major news anchor and President Trump both deemed it fake news, and several Russian businessmen, including Michael Cohen, sued for defamation, plus Michael Cohen, sued for defamation. As we have said from the start, a document that had been circulating at the highest level of government under active investigation by the FBI and briefed to two successive presidents is clearly the subject of official action. Moreover, its publication has contributed to the American people's understanding of what is happening in their country and their government. Alexei Gubarev and his tech companies. These were they appealed the judge's case. Val Gurvitz was his lawyer. When we started this case, we knew it would be a marathon, not a sprint, Gurvitz said, and blah, blah, blah. Okay. Dossier details were revealed. The case allowed BuzzFeed and Gubarev's attorneys to dig up new details from the federal government and conduct interviews with key players who've stayed nearly silent since the dossier's publication. The individuals interviewed for this lawsuit and whose statements were shared with the judge included Christopher Steele, the ex-British spy who wrote the dossier and apparently slept with Ivanka Trump. That's the rumor. I don't know if it's true. Page 6, talk to them. Don't talk to Page 6. Fuck them. They're the people who let Cosby and Weinstein get away with it forever. Several BuzzFeed, Page 6 and TMZ both enabled Cosby and Weinstein for decades. Just saying. While they were chasing people who were in rocky relationships or making teen stars anorexic, they totally ignored all the feed about Weinstein and the relations to Epstein of some famous people and Cosby. They ignored it and allowed them to continue victimizing people for decades. So fuck those people. Remember that the next time you share a TMZ or a Page 6 link. Anyways, the judge described in the ruling what both sides learned from the interviews. The dossier was written as a series of 17 memos by Steele after he was first hired through the research firm Fusion GPS by a Republican group and then by a law firm working for Democrats. The group sought opposition research on then candidate Trump. He was first hired to do stuff because Republicans were trying to take down Trump, and found through Steele's work some salacious yet still unproven claims. Took the information he found credible about Trump, and that he left shit out that he didn't find credible. So everything in the dossier is stuff that he was like, yep, sounds about right. Or he was hearing it from enough people. After sharing his research with the FBI in 2016, the FBI ended its relationship with the ex-spy because he had spoken with journalists. Still, an independent unit within the FBI tried to vet the dossier's claims. In November 2016, a former British ambassador to Russia who knew about what Steele had researched met McCain, his staffer Christopher Brose, and Kramer, a former State Department official who worked alongside McCain in Halifax. At McCain's request, Kramer followed up with Steele, then received copies of the dossier from an owner of Fusion GPS. Kramer then shared the dossier with McCain and the Senate staffer on November 30th, 2016, and asked McCain to pass it to the FBI and the CIA. McCain also asked Kramer to meet with 2 U.S. government officials because he thought fucking Trump's a criminal. McCain gave FBI Director James Comey 16 of the 17 Steele memos about Trump. Steele passed the 17th memo, which mentioned Gubarev to Kramer and several public employees. Those people included an unnamed senior British security official, the National Security Council representative, Illinois Rep. Adam Kinzinger, and House Speaker Paul Ryan's Chief of Staff, John Burks. A lot of Republicans in there. The FBI also, because in the early days it was paid for by Republicans. The FBI also obtained the 17th memo before BuzzFeed published it. BuzzFeed received its copies of the document on December 29, 2016, when reporter Ken Benzinger met with Kramer at the McCain Institute. Kramer told the reporter some of Steele's findings weren't verified, but he took the allegations seriously. The judge said, CNN broke the story. There you go. That BuzzFeed, which was the initial source that everybody saw this thing from, got it from somebody related to McCain. But tell me again about Hillary Clinton, who, by the way, didn't act on it because she thought she was going to win fair and square, which she did in the popular.
They leaked this out. Why? For political purposes.
Yes, the Republicans didn't like Trump in their fucking party. So McCain was worried about him because he's a serial sexual assaulter and a fucking criminal, and he had ties to Russia that made everybody fucking nervous, and that did bear out in his behavior while he was in office. And
Hillary Clinton
had nothing to do with it. Hillary Clinton had nothing to do with it. As a matter of fact, there's an argument that she should have had more to do with it.
Planned.
Nope.
A disinformation campaign to leak, to get it out that Donald Trump was in league with the Russians, which he wasn't.
Oh, no, they were in league with him. Yeah, it's a distinction without a difference. Again, he's an asset, not an agent.
Now proven.
Nope.
By
not at all. Not proven in the Durham report. Not even close. No, not proven. No, not by what you read from the little snippet you read from somebody else reading a snippet that they read somewhere else, Glenn. No. Read the whole fucking thing. Spend the weekend. Shut the fuck up. Put down the Sonic, put on your reading glasses, and read the whole thing. Bring a fucking highlighter and those little Post-its that have arrows, you dimwit.
The Durham report.
No.
There was no truth in it.
There's no truth in what you're saying. Is that what you're talking about?
Is she going to get 5 years in prison?
No, because the BuzzFeed reporters that initially put out the dossier that made it available to the press and that started the whole fucking thing got it from the McCain Institute. No. Hillary should get 5 years for not releasing the fucking thing. She could have saved us from all the damage he did.
Because I think she did more than a meme.
That's because you're stupid. That's because you can't read more than a meme.
How about all of this
How about fuck you?
CIA former chiefs that knowingly
were aware of the Russian disinfo campaign and the hacking of Burisma and the stealing of Hunter Biden's phone and the laptop that was at Keith Ablow's house and Rudy Giuliani's trip to the Ukrainian territories controlled by Russia and meeting with Russians in Italy, where he came back $5 million lighter with a hard drive that had more information on it that would fit on a hard drive that would fit in the laptop that was allegedly dropped off in fucking Delaware. You don't think I know this shit by now?
signed a letter that was only produced to give Biden.
No, to warn people that Trump was either willingly or unwillingly an asshat for Russia.
The edge at a campaign debate so he would be able to squash Donald Trump and knowingly.
For the record, he squashed Donald Trump well before that point in the debate. Donald Trump got curb stomped by Biden in those debates. He did terribly.
Help Biden win.
No. Will you just shut up, man? Ended the debates. That was it. That was the single moment where people were like, all right, I like Biden. He doesn't take shit from this dude. He won't take shit from other assholes. I'm voting for him. That did it. More people, they talk about how people vote for personality, not policy, and which guy would you rather have a beer with? You'd rather have a beer with the guy who would tell the guy who would grab your wife by the crotch to shut the fuck up.
That seems to me worse than.
That's because you don't read.
And you can text your vote on Wednesday.
That's because you're stupid. And that's because you are incapable of creating functioning analogies, and because you made up your mind before you read anything. Just to be clear.
Doesn't it?
No, it doesn't. And I don't know why Stu is clapping, unless that's just him farting.
This is why I'm so fed up.
No, I think it's ill health, honestly. I think your emotions are habitual at this point, and based on just general ill health. I don't think you know why you feel bad. Honestly. I think you wake up grumpy and afraid, and you respond to things grumpy and afraid because you eat shit and you don't move very much. And when you are on your phone or you're on your laptop or you're working at all, you're kind of hunched over and you're squashing your diaphragm and you don't breathe deep and you're miserable. That's, as an outside viewer who only sees you in this fucking fishbowl in your rotating clown outfits.
First of all, none of this is going to change until two things happen.
Okay. Two things got to happen. What is going to happen? What's happening?
One.
This is one of the two.
You get a Republican House and Senate and not one of the usual.
Yes, we need some unusual Republicans. Now, maybe I agree. I'm looking for Republicans that are so unusual they're Democrats. I think that's the way you do it.
House and Senate, but ones with spines.
Yeah, I don't think they make them that way. I just think that's a special order. That's going to take a long time. Yeah. I mean, most of them are sort of gelatinous in form. You can't even it's like you can't even put a spine on a jellyfish. It'll just crush it or something, right?
People who will actually stand up and do something.
Well, they did. They tried to help the insurrection. I mean, what else do you mean? You mean compromise on bills and get legislation passed like adults in a democracy that have to deal with the other side and, you know, speak honestly about the elections that they won but Trump lost, and not pander to this idea that somehow it was rigged but they somehow got through and their vote is legit but his was stolen, shit like that. Again, like I said, you're not gonna find him.
If you get that,
Yeah, I wouldn't hold my breath if I were you.
you'll be able to impeach all of these people.
Yes, I impeach Hillary Clinton. Lock her up. Lock her up. Yes, Hillary, pack your shit. You're not president anymore. You never have been, but whatever. And Obama, you can't be president ever. Oh, shit. You do know that this doesn't affect Biden's presidency at all, and most of the people you're bitching about were appointed by Trump. Seriously. Merrick Garland didn't run Crossfire Hurricane, you dipshit.
You won't be able to put any of them in jail because they will all go through the Justice Department, which the Justice Department, you know, if it's
Doesn't do justice.
Republicans in both the House and the Senate, you have a chance of cleaning house on that as well. But
Yes, of justice. That's right. If we get a Republican House and Senate, you can get all the justice washed right out of there.
We're going to be appointing very pro-crime judges.
Mm-hmm.
Winston Churchill stood on the rooftops in London, very calm, making speeches. Winston Churchill.
He meant explosive in terms of fire. This isn't the let's read the book school.
until that is totally cleaned up, you still have the judge and the jury.
By the way, he's leaning towards a commercial break or whatever. He does this like big build up, like I got to go out big before the commercial so people want to come back because I'm boring the fuck out of everybody. So he starts raising his voice and then does this business.
In Washington, D.C., they're predisposed to believe the Democrats.
No, they aren't.
And give them the benefit of the doubt.
No, they aren't. And by the way, most of these things that you're talking about have nothing to do with local D.C. juries, dumb fuck.
Because 95% of them vote that way.
Why would they do that? Why would they vote? First of all, they don't. But if they did, why would they do that? Is it because the Republicans have been shitty in their messaging and shitty in their legislating to a point where those voters have just written them the fuck off? Maybe.
So you're really not getting a jury of your peers in.
Well, that's, yeah, I mean, Trump can't get a jury of his peers anyways. Where are you going to find people that dumb that are free on a Wednesday?
Washington. You're not getting a fair trial in Washington.
Yes, you are. Yeah, you are. Unless, I don't know why Glenn is saying we should abolish prisons in relation to D.C. and the Maryland and Virginia areas where anybody who's been tried in D.C. should just be let out of jail. Because according to Glenn Beck, nobody can get a fair trial there.
But this is the kind of thing that is causing so many Americans
to talk out of their ass?
To say, I'm living in a banana republic.
Yeah, right. The same thing. I mean, saying I'm living in a banana republic and then talking out of your ass, it's the same thing. Yeah. I mean, they're also saying things like deep state and establishment and you know, corporate media and that kind of establishment media, shit like that, legacy media. They say stuff like that. It's the same as just say talking out of your ass, and we'll just sort of scoop it into that.
There is no justice. There is no one's going to pay for anything.
Well, there's no free lunch in the world of justice, Glenn. I don't know why you want me to pay for everything. You don't even put out.
That cannot be.
That cannot be. It shan't. Oh dear. Oh, pardon me, mate. I'll be in the drawing room playing the grand piano. That cannot be. This shall not stand.
We live in a republic.
But not with bananas. That's his dream. Glenn Beck wants to live in a in a banana-less republic, aka the Blaze.
And even though our national leaders have forgotten that,
They did. They totally forgot. I forgot. What were you talking about?
and they look at us like
You're a bunch of bananas.
mice or
Mice.
annoyances.
Well, you are annoying. I don't look at you as a mouse. Come on. I look at you as like, you ever go to somebody's house and their dog is really smelly? Like it's overweight and its hair's falling out and it rolls around a lot and it's one of those tongues and it looks a little, and it's got a, the whole place smells like dog and they don't notice. You know, that's how we look at you, Glenn. That's how I'm pretty sure the Blaze, those studios, as pristine as they look, that microphone smells like wet dog.
Something they have to once in a while just go put their arm around and go, hi, Aunt Hilda. It's good to see you again. And you do your hour at the nursing home and then you leave. That's the way our politicians nationally look at you.
No, that's just Republicans. That's just your side. Our side actually gets shit done. We were saying, hey, we really do need infrastructure help in this, and we need a rescue package. We need, climate-related legislation. We need to fix our schools. We need to take the lead pipes out of the country, shit like that. And so we vote for Biden, and he actually starts getting that shit done. They're literally breaking ground all over the fucking place. By the way, in areas around Glenn, where he bitches about the traffic that is being caused by giant infrastructure projects that the federal government is paying for that Trump promised and never could deliver.
You're their boss. This is our money.
Well, unless you're Trump and you pay like $700 a year and you pay more. Does that make Trump the boss of the CCP? Because he paid more taxes in China than he paid in the United States. I don't know. I think he should try to boss them around.
How many years were spent, and how many millions of dollars were spent on this report? Only
Not a lot. It sounds like he did it on the cheap, honestly.
to have it completely dismissed by the people who are in league with the people who did it.
Well, honest to God, Glenn, I don't know any of those people. I've never met anybody from Fusion GPS. I've never met Hillary Clinton or Joe Biden or Barack Obama. I've met like campaign volunteers at a couple of events. I've met other celebrities who voted for them, but I don't know that they had any say or swing in this. I've certainly never met Christopher Steele, although if he's a spy like we hear he is, he might be a master of disguise and we might have all met him at one time. But no, I'm not in league with them. I just know you're full of shit. Where's my slice of the media pie? Where do I exist in your finite universe, Glenn? Your us and them world for those of us that are neither.
They're in league with the Clintons. They're in league with the Justice Department. They helped leak these stories. And
no, that's the McCain people. They literally leaked it. They literally delivered the dossier. They literally
pushed the story that we all now know was a lie.
No, it wasn't.
That these things are true and there's mounting evidence. There was no mounting evidence.
Yeah, there was. The Mueller report came to a lot of conclusions that involved a lot of people going to jail around Trump. It just kept him, it removed, he couldn't indict, but also he couldn't even look into Trump's finances because he wasn't allowed, which would provide the motive part, which would drive towards that. And that's where, by the way, most of the evidence would lie in the case of Trump. Ideologically, it's hard to prove that he didn't just side with Putin on the fucking whim because he's an asshole or an anti-American prick, which is also just could be true. I mean, he could be doing it for free, but the cash was a bonus.
None. All of those years.
These are years.
All of that division.
Yes, we were all divided by it. None of it was true. None of the grab 'em by the pussy tape. That was all a deep fake. AI will be the ruin of us all.
And none of them have apologized.
Yeah, I wouldn't hold your breath. It's especially, I mean, why would they apologize to Trump? Because there's pictures of him partying with Epstein. Fuck him. You know what I mean? And most of that shit was more than likely true.
So,
also, I know some people have apologized to Carter Page. Fuck Carter Page.
first thing we
And I'm not talking to Chris Hayes because that might perk up some ears.
have to do is just start asking,
How do I get my head out of my ass? I don't think anybody there is going to be able to help you. They're all in the dark too, Glenn.
is anyone going to pay the price that Ricky Vaughn has paid?
Well, no, because they did a different, thing than him, and he did something that was directly criminal.
And if none of the elites have to pay that price,
Elites. Oh, the elites. The elites.
why is Ricky Vaughn paying
Why is Vicky Ron?
that price?
Well, because elites don't go to jail just because somebody who makes a nice living goes to jail for a crime they committed. There's not tangential class guilt.
This is what you call the Bubba effect.
Okay, I'll bite. Why?
We all know what Ricky Vaughn did was wrong, but the bigger problem is the people in Washington.
Why are you dragging Bubba into this?
So we'll take care of the Ricky Vaughns of the world. Get out of our life. That's the Bubba effect.
The Bubba effect is if somebody of moderate income rat fucker who likes Donald Trump gets busted for attempting to skew the election, and he goes to what is it, the Bubba effect for that woman who got busted for not waiting, till the next election to vote even though she was out of prison? The fuck are you talking about? All right, he doesn't know. The Bubba effect popped into the front of his fucking head, and he had to scramble to it's like he threw a spinning plate up in the air and realized he didn't have one of those poles for it to spin on. So he's like, "Fuck! I gotta give me that umbrella." That won't work. Quick, it's coming down. Give me coat hanger. Clash. All right. Well, it was never going to work anyways.
We cannot accept
Reality.
that the
That you were wrong and you're wrong now.
national government has power over us, and there is nothing we can do about it.
Of course it has power over us, and there's nothing you can do about it in the abstract. Or are you just saying scuttle all laws because you feel slighted because your shitty reading comprehension has led you down the primrose path to Bongholio land?
There is.
No.
If you are fed up of
Yes, if you're fed up, just go to the window and moon your neighbors.
people not going to jail,
Or if you're fed up with people not going to jail, well, all right. I'm okay. Yes, I would like Trump to go to jail. I'm fed up. And?
tomorrow night,
Uh-huh. Hold on. Somebody write this down. Add this to my... Wait, this video's from yesterday. Fuck, I missed it.
at 8 o'clock,
Oh, he's going to do a fucking special on how to turn your fed up anger into a bunker in your backyard filled with
a
beans.
Blaze TV network-wide special.
Fuck this. Look at this. Use fed up for $30 off your internet. Fuck off.
Is happening. I'm the host of it.
Really? You couldn't find anybody that knows what they're talking about? You just have to fill in. Maybe, maybe they'll return your call. Maybe you just try again, Maybe you can get somebody. I mean, I don't know if Laura Ingraham is free. I do know that she's got the week off.
And it is the reckoning. The
The Reckoning. I reckon Glenn's going to tell us the truth.
Biden crime family.
The Biden crime family. The Reckoning. Biden crime family 2. The Reckoning.
And I urge you
to subscribe to your stupid fucking channel so they can hear this kind of prattle that never results in anything yearly. Unlike Hal Sparks Mega Worldwide at infotainmentwars.com. The guy who's right almost too often. Money well spent. Like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show. Patreon.com/HalSparks. And of course, you can just subscribe. It doesn't cost you a dime on YouTube. Drive our numbers up. We hit 50K. We're trying to grow, and we're competing with people. That asshole has 1.1 million subscribers. I have to feel. I do have to feel. I have to believe, and feel that there's at least 1/16 of that number of people out there that would like to subscribe to my show. Just give it a click, will you? Spread the show around. Ahem. Now, back to our regularly scheduled bullshit.
get your friends, your neighbors, anyone.
Yes. If you don't have friends and you don't have neighbors and your family's left you because you whine and bitch all the time about shit you've heard on the Blaze and you're just intolerably boring, watch it alone. Just wear some pants.
Anyone who is a little fed up.
A little fed. All right. What's the standard for fed up then? I don't think you'd be a little fed up. Fed up is already a lot, isn't it?
To view.
Go check your. Are you on a scale of 1 to 7? How fed up are you? Huh? How, I was thinking this. I saw you standing in the grocery store, and I followed you from the poultry, and I was noticing that you seemed kind of like you were scattered a little. Well, I was thinking about the list of stuff. I had written it down and then I left it in the car, but I basically had it memorized. So, but politically, oh God, politically, on a scale of 1 to 7, excuse me, how fed up would you say you are? On a 7 being, oh God, and 1 being, but you're still fed up. You're just not, it barely charts. Where'd he go? He was just here. He opened the door, and it was the freezer section, so it got all frosty. And then when the door shut, it was gone. It's like fucking David Blaine, standing here like an asshole in the middle of Albertsons, squeezing my cheese, and he walks off. Well, I've gone up a notch of fed up, I'll tell you that right now. And seen.
Because the solution, the constitutional stick in the eye.
Is that in the Constitution? Which amendment is it? That's if they can't make us quarter soldiers in our house, I'm pretty sure they can't stick a stick in our eye or vice versa. That's not how you vote, by the way. You're going to get in trouble like Ricky Bobby.
Comes from you. And only when you stand.
Only you can make this stick go in my eye. Ha ha, only you.
Stand up, and there is.
What an asshole. This guy's just me.
Is a way to do this. There is a way.
Yes, there is. Stop listening to the Blaze, read a fucking book, have a life, and then vote for the most qualified person that's available on the ballot the next time around based on your actual values, not the fucking letter on your jersey. And often you'll find it's a Democrat. Bye.
To make sure justice is served. And it's.
Well, justice is served. It's a 3-course meal, and it's a prefix menu. And I can start you off with some breadsticks. Welcome to serving justice. where it's just us tonight. It's a joke that I make, whatever. Add that to my tip.
All constitutional. We need you to be a part of it.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, it is a democracy, so. Help me. Help, please. Please. Someone help me. I'm stuck in this little box with this man. Sometimes I feel like I'm talking out of a basement window, you know, the kind with the little bars on it, in like a Criminal Minds episode. Help us! We're down here. He's got my sister chained to the floor.
Will you join us and
Join us.
at least see the case we're laying out?
Yeah, it's only been 2.5 years. I'm sure you've got your act together.
It's tomorrow night. I think it's a 2-hour special.
Oh yeah, because it can't be. This can't be concise or anything. I mean, all this information, you can't expect to fit it in a easily digestible way. Shit.
On Blaze TV.
Really? That's where it's going to be? I wouldn't have guessed.
Make sure you join us. By the way, you can get your questions in during the show. We're going to take some questions after. Mark Levin is joining me.
Oh, joining you in what? Leg wrestling? I hate it when you guys don't use oil. It's gross. It's just the chafing. You can hear the scratchiness. You're both very dry.
We'll take some questions from the audience if you're a Blaze TV subscriber.
I'm not, but I do have some notes. Is there a suggestion box? I look, most of them are just go fuck yourself, but I do actually have some constructive advice, which on a personal note, as somebody who likes their reflection in the mirror, I think go fuck yourself is a compliment. But
you can now send them in with our live chat. You can send them in right now, and our producers can get ahead on this. But it's all about the crimes that have been committed.
2 hours of crime. What do you think the odds are that there won't be any crimes? There'll just be a lot of suggestions that they think something is crime. And I don't know why I feel this is going to be a huge waste of time, but.
And how we go about saving it. If you'd like to.
Saving the crimes? Run that by me again.
And how we go about.
Wait.
You can send them in right now, and our producers can
send the questions in, right?
Ahead on this, but it's all about the crimes that have been committed and how we go about saving it.
Saving the crimes. Well, I think that's a good goal to have. It certainly.
We're going to be appointing very pro-crime judges.
So you're trying to save crime. It's a good, hey. I don't know the last time I've seen a pro-crime after-school special, Glenn. But I'm not surprised it's you, if that helps.
If you'd like to get involved, you can watch.
Yes, I am involved, Glenn. I'm almost singularly involved. I'm apparently the only person that gives a fuck about dunking on your dumb ass on the regular.
Watch it, on YouTube for as long as it lasts. You can also watch it at blazetv.com. It will always be there.
It'll always be there. Come watch with us, Danny, forever and ever and ever.
And we are doing it for you, and we.
Oh, I know. I know you're doing it for me.
Moon River.
And I'm doing it for you.
Would love for you to be a subscriber.
Oh, yeah, I bet you would. Based on what I've seen in the last fucking hour where I went overtime talking about this, I'm not impressed. Sorry, Glenn. I gotta say, man, I think not just the show is ass, but the commentary is useless. You have added nothing. Honest to God, I have never seen someone with more screens and less information. And sometimes the shit you say is so bad, it makes me feel bad for Stu. Which is, I think, the nicest thing I can say about you, Glenn. The nicest thing I can say about it is that you found a way to make me sympathetic towards Stu, who is, by the way, all in with you on this jackassery. That said, I gotta wrap this up. Tomorrow, by the way, it's kind of one of the reasons I went long tonight is tomorrow I can't do a show because I will be on an airplane. Now, I might do, especially to test my gear and make sure everything works. When I arrive at my hotel I got to go to Texas because I have a Nerd Halen gig on Saturday and I have radio to promote it on Friday morning. So I got a day in Texas to just kind of Dallas around, which, you know, they're going to be glad to see me. And I just got to, you know, be careful and not get my white shirt wrinkled in that 24 hours. But I've got to do I'll do my morning show and my afternoon show and my radio show from Dallas before the show on Saturday night. And then I come back on Sunday. And so I'm flying out tomorrow night because it's the only flight I could get that would get me in time to not have to go straight from the airport to radio Friday morning on a red eye. So I hope you guys forgive me for that. And if I do get in, I will, and I can get stuff set up. I might do a live stream from my room just to check it and all that kind of shit if it's not too late and I'm not exhausted. So there you go. That's okay. Because I normally show the story late on Friday, late on Thursday because of family FaceTime. But however, let's see, one second, if I may. What's happening here? Yeah, there we go. I just, I won't be it's just a thing. It's just so anyways. But until then, remember what I said, y'all. Hey, come on now. Here, listen, settle down. We're gonna I just want to leave you with this. Just like and subscribe and share the fucking show. Let people know we're here. Don't do all this goddamn work for nothing, man. We're not digging a goddamn ditch in the middle of the desert just so the sand can fall in. This is we're doing fucking hard hat intellectual work around here, I think. And I want to thank Glenn and Stu for representing all the Sonic fans out there. I would not have my smile without the fine meals available to me at Sonic. And to you and everybody else around you, I want you to take care of yourself. And I'll see you guys if I don't see you late tomorrow, I'll see you on Friday and then on Saturday. So just be all right then and take care of yourself. We'll be just fine. Okay. That's it. Is that good enough?